What's up, YouTube? It's Eric, a Lions fan. Thanks for clicking on this video. Just got done watching the Michigan State game. I'm going to start with that first. I'm also going to do the Michigan game here as well. But like I said, I just got done watching the Michigan State football game against Wisconsin. They get shut out 38-0. Not a good game for the Spartans. At least in the second half, it wasn't a very good game. At least Taylor didn't hit his 5,000-yard mark. At least that doesn't go against the Michigan State Spartans. But, guys, for what it is, it was a pretty bad game for the Spartans. Really, they kind of looked demoralized in the second half. The defense was out there. Again, it kind of seems to be a theme this year with both Michigan and Michigan State football. Out there far, far too much, especially in the second half. They looked demoralized. They looked tired. Any kind of negative adjective you could put on this team probably happened today against Michigan State. Wisconsin was ready to play. They really couldn't do anything wrong. That's why they scored 38 points. It was much like the game plan against Michigan, where they just kind of put smash mouth football and kind of punched Michigan State in the mouth, and then Michigan State really couldn't do anything to get them back into the football game. Lewerke didn't do very well today. I can't even remember what the stats were. Like I said, I'm not at my computer. I'm actually going to my buddy's house today. Gonna have a little bonfire tonight and maybe talk and BS and have a couple beers and whatnot. Kind of a friendly beer and BS kind of session, but not a good day for Michigan football. They put their backup quarterback in. I can't remember who it is. Like it really matters, I guess. Really, just Michigan State was they really didn't have any answer for Wisconsin today. And being a proud program that Michigan State is, it was kind of, wow, I'm doing almost 65 down through here on just a regular country road. But Michigan State is a proud program, and being shut out against one of your rivals in Wisconsin says kind of how far apart the two programs are. D'Antonio being the most winningest coach in Michigan State football history, he's got some work to do with this team. I don't necessarily know. There'll probably be another low bowl bid team, much like Michigan is. Michigan's probably in the same boat, along with Michigan State. But Michigan State just couldn't get anything going. Cody White and Stewart, and there's another wide receiver for Michigan State. They couldn't, especially in the second quarter, they couldn't catch the ball. The defense and the offense really couldn't pick up any blitzes or anything like that. It was just a real bad game for Michigan State. I was kind of watching it there, kind of thinking, come on, Michigan State, let's try to see some life, try to see some kind of, have a little bit of pride in kind of what you're doing, and I didn't necessarily even see that for the Michigan State football program. So it is what it is. I guess you got to, for Michigan State, you got to kind of erase this from your memory banks and come back and play Penn State. Now, they always played Penn State pretty good. I think they play them at home. I can't remember if they play them at home or at Penn State. It doesn't matter either way. Michigan State usually plays Penn State pretty tough. It's always been an enjoyable game to watch. I'm a more Michigan fan than I am a Michigan State fan, guys. But you guys know that usually that game is pretty entertaining to watch because it's usually a pretty close game. So we're gonna have to go instead and see what kind of both coaches have up their sleeve here. I don't think either one of them is gonna, necessarily do much. Being Michigan and Michigan State, they're necessarily gonna do much here in the Big Ten. And kind of going on to the Michigan game here against Illinois, all but the third quarter was probably Michigan football, and kind of going into a little bit into the fourth quarter was Illinois. The Michigan again, I almost said Michigan State. Michigan again almost kind of let their foot off the gas, let Illinois kind of right back into the game. Shea Patterson just kind of, that offense just doesn't seem to click for some reason. And I don't know if it's just the quarterback play, if it's the offensive line play, if it's the wide receiver play. I think the running backs are doing what their responsibilities are and their assignments are. But again, like with Michigan State, you don't. It's kind of a tale of two different teams here, being Michigan and Michigan State. Michigan kind of plays well against the lower tier teams, as does Michigan State. I'm not going to take Michigan State out of the equation here, but going with Michigan, they always seem to play better ball against the lower tier teams, but then when they get up like this stretch with Michigan now, I don't know if they're going to win. They probably are going to win against Indiana, and that's a probably because Indiana always seems to play Michigan tough and Michigan State tough, because I went to the Michigan State-Indiana game. They played them tough. So you don't necessarily know if that's going to be a winnable game. Maryland doesn't seem to be on the tear that they once were, so that's probably a win. But you have Ohio State in there, you have Penn State in there, and then there's one other team that's in Nebraska. I think they play Nebraska. With Nebraska, I don't know necessarily if Nebraska is going to come ready to play. If Scott Frost is that team ready to play for Nebraska when it comes time for Michigan to play them. It's going to kind of be one of these times to where Harbaugh, it's a down year for Harbaugh. Let's go ahead and put it that way. It's a down year for Harbaugh. But I don't know, guys. It just seems to be these two college football teams in Michigan just don't seem to have what it takes to be in that upper echelon of NCAA football or college football, to be completely honest. You're probably looking at both teams being a lower tier bowl team. It's even if they can even get the 6 wins. That's one thing, first off, they got to accomplish. I think Michigan and Michigan State will both get there, but the Michigan State game, I guess that's kind of going to be a game of which team's going to make more mistakes and which team's going to come out on top, or which team's going to give the game away back to the other team. It kind of seems like this, the game with Michigan and Michigan State. I don't think Michigan's even worth their number. To be honest, guys, I think they were ranked 16th. I think I seen on the television screen. I'm guessing they're probably 24, 25, right around there, even if they're even in the top 25. I mean, in Michigan State, they're going to have to play better if they're going to want to jump into the top 25. I don't think they're a top 25 team. I don't think I seen them ranked today in the top 25 or this week. So, just on my initial thoughts here, guys, without digging into the game here real quick, it's going to be, it's a real hard year being a Michigan football fan. And I mean Michigan football being, of course, Michigan Wolverine football and Michigan State Spartan football. It's a real hard year being a living in Michigan and kind of watching the two top-tier teams, and at least in Michigan, kind of not do too well. Probably mediocre is how I would put it best here. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and give it that. That's my initial reaction. I'll probably go ahead and give my actual reaction on Monday. Then I'll do the Detroit Lions game against the Packers here on Tuesday. Probably going to be Tuesday morning. I'll probably have that ready to go, because by the time that game's over, I'm not going to be at the point of wanting to get on the computer and give my analysis on it here. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Let me know what you guys think of the game today. Like I said, Michigan State played a pretty good half of football, and then it kind of the offense really couldn't do anything, and the defense was out there far too much, and kind of looked deflated there a little bit here because they were out on the field too much, especially that 8-9 minute drive I think Wisconsin had there, where they only had two offensive. I think each team had one offensive series, and they didn't have any TV timeouts, or kind of maybe one TV timeout in between there. It kind of is what it is when you play football here, guys. And with Michigan, that one quarter, maybe a little bit more than a quarter, kind of really put in perspective how Michigan kind of plays football here. I don't think Jim Harbaugh is a very good motivator, and I talked about that in the color commentator and the main commentator kind of talked about that here a little bit. When they're at away games, Jim Harbaugh doesn't really do a very good job of motivating the team to get them fired up and get them ready to play. But, guys, let me know what you guys think down in the comments here. I'd like to know your guys' thoughts. Please consider hitting that subscribe button, and make sure you guys hit that bell notification so you guys get more videos just like this one. Apologize for the lighting here, guys. I'm in and out of the sun here, and I'm actually going right down here, a pretty good wooded area here in Michigan, and down to my buddy's place. All right, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hope to see you guys again soon. Deuces. Take care, guys.